Hey friends, it's Michael Golzmane here. And in this video, I want to just talk a bit about what we mean by karmic relationship and what can be done to help clear and resolve this situation. First, I want to say something that might sound a little bit bold to say, and that the first thing I want to say is that all of your relationships are soulmate relationships. This may be a little bit more of an expanded definition than you're used to hearing, but I want you to just hear me out for a moment that every person you've ever been in relationship with, including right now, is here because there's something in your soul and their souls that is wanting to grow and wanting to evolve and wanting to learn from this experience. There's no accidents. I've also heard it said before, and I tend to agree with this in my spiritual research, that there are no first-time meetings. Even when the relationship is very, very difficult, and even severely so, there's a reason the relationship is happening. It's not because it's a punishment. It's not being sent by some evil being or sent by God to punish you in some way. But there is a higher purpose to everything that happens in our experience. And this is so true in relationship. Many people feel that they have very challenging and difficult relationships, whether this is with family, whether it's with past or present romantic partners. For some people, they seem to not be able to attract a romantic partner, other types of workplace relationships and everything. I want you to just take a deep breath and just for a moment entertain the idea that all of these relationships are here for your highest good. This doesn't mean that you should stay in all of these relationships and sort of capitulate and say, well, this guy in this video said they were all for my highest good, so I shouldn't really speak up for myself or require the person to, step up to the plate if we need them to do that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that for a moment, take a breath and look at everything that's happening in your life in relationship as this. There's something underneath what is happening on the literal level here that is what my soul is wanting to grow through. So what are the issues and themes that are coming up for you now or in the past? Maybe there's a certain type of theme that's been coming up in many relationships over the course of time. Again, this is not being sent to you as a punishment. This is because your own soul is trying to resolve these particular themes. Sometimes there's betrayal or there's bitterness. There can be anger. There can be resentment. There can be you or that your partner not being willing to be open-hearted or just emotionally show up in the relationship, especially in romantic relationships. There can be many factors that go on. So we want to come back for a second to realization that the purpose of life and the purpose of relationship is not really just to make us happy. We're not here to have a pleasant time in relationship or a pleasant time even in our lives in general. There's a larger purpose. There's a beautiful divine purpose unfolding as your life and unfolding through relationship in your life experience right now. And this purpose is really growth and evolution. It's about learning, it's about growing, it's about experience. This is the purpose of us being here on the planet. Now, it's not just those sort of neutral, limited terms. It's not just about learning and growth and experience. It's about learning, growth, and experience so that we can evolve and reveal more of the image of the divine that is already within us, more of those divine qualities of love and of peace and of joy and of abundance and of all needs met and of divine vibrant health and of just a feeling of oneness and of connection with all of life. These divine qualities want to be revealed more in each of our lives, and they can only be revealed after we have sufficiently resolved and healed enough of this karmic sense or karmic database of separation that we have all accidentally created in our past and present life history. What do I mean by that? Well, all of the challenges that may be showing up in relationship for you, look at the patterns that are showing up, the things that are showing up now or in the past, such as what I just mentioned. These things are what we call karmic lessons for you to be able to master and to be able to learn, clear, resolve, transcend, and move on to the next step in your evolution. When, in my way of talking about what I mean by karmic relationship, I mean that there are certain relationships in your life where, and perhaps all relationships in your life currently, where the primary emphasis is on overcoming problems and difficulties. Why don't you just hear that for a second? For instance, the primary emphasis may be on learning how to come out of anger and to be able to forgive, coming out of bitterness, coming out of resentment. Forgiveness is actually a huge issue in really all relationships. The primary emphasis may be learning how to come out of fear, coming out of anxiety. In other words, it's kind of, we're here to learn how to overcome the need in our soul to continue to have difficulties, problems, deep challenges, and the same types of chronic difficult relationship patterns that we may have been having. That's what I mean by coming out of karmic relationship. Now, you may look at your life, past and present, and say, well, most of my relationships, if not all of them, tend to reflect that quality. There are good times and there are good qualities in other people and in relationships that you may have or you may have had. But you may look back and say, well, there's a lot of these themes that are common to relationship. And I'm saying that most relationships have some karmic components to them. Sometimes we are at a point in our past or present where seemingly all of our relationships are about overcoming the difficulties and challenges and learning and growing and getting the lessons that the relationship has for us. The reason why, again, that we may see the similar themes in all of these relationships simultaneously is not because we're being punished or we are bad or we are doing anything wrong. It's because this is the growth lesson that our soul is going through at this moment. And so everything that we're having in the world of experience is reflecting that growth lesson. You ever notice how people who are very, very angry tend to attract situations and people who reflect that back to them? It's just part of this sort of law of attraction. It's part of the law of radiance. It's not a punishment. It's part of helping to allow life to reflect back to us what it is that we need to see in ourselves. Relationship is a primary, beautiful place to do that in. So if relationship isn't just about karmic relationship and about overcoming difficulties and problems, then what else is relationship about? I would say that it's sort of the second phase, perhaps the higher phase that we all may be in to some extent in certain or all of our relationships, is about developing those beautiful divine qualities, about developing harmonization, about developing love, about developing respect, about developing our own sense of self-actualization, about feeling a sense of fulfillment, of feeling a sense of communication. All of these beautiful neutral or higher vibrational terms, relationship can become about that in the long term as we learn and clear and resolve the primarily karmic issues that I was just mentioning a moment ago. We cannot really get to the place where these higher qualities are able to emerge until we've done a sufficient amount of looking at and releasing and resolving those difficult karmic issues. Now, another teacher of mine has expressed this in a different way. He has said that in life, we are pushed by pain until we're pulled by a vision. I want to say that again. In life, we are pushed by pain until we're pulled by a vision. So I will say to you, are your relationships pushing you through pain? Many people who contact me, this is the story that is happening in their life. Their relationship has been pushing them through pain for a very, very long period of time. They're not talking about, well, how can I deepen the love that I'm experiencing in this relationship? How can I deepen the sense of fulfillment? They're not there yet. They're learning through karmic relationship. You can't get to the higher qualities until you've learned enough, sufficiently, mastered enough in the karmic field, released, resolved, and revealed more of your true nature so you can experience it at a higher level. So very, very many people have been, even chronically, relationship after relationship, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, parents, they've been in karmic relationship after karmic relationship. So the common thread to all of this really, though, is us. We are the person, if we looked at relationship as always mirrors of what we're working on at a soul level, then taking a deep breath and saying, okay, Michael, it's time for you to look at yourself, look at your own heart, look at what's going on within you. If I'm seeing the same qualities show up over and over again in different relationships, maybe over the course of years, it's time for me to say, without judging myself or blaming myself, it's time for me to say, what is it that my own higher consciousness is trying to get through to me? Not trying to punish me, but trying to get me to evolve into, trying to get me to open to, trying to get me to release. And that quality of forgiveness and letting go is probably one of the most primary qualities in all relationships. What is my soul trying to tell me? This is a great question for you to ask of yourself right now. If there's a relationship coming to mind for you right now, where you feel like, yeah, that's a karmic relationship. It's about being pushed by pain. Ask yourself in this moment, just take a deep breath and say, what's the lesson here? What am I here to get in this situation? Remember, there is really only this benevolent higher consciousness that you have that is trying to help you to evolve and to grow. And in order to do that, it has to bring you through sometimes the painful challenges in order for you to be able to develop those divine qualities within yourself. But as you clear, as you resolve, as you let go, as you forgive, as you learn the lessons, you can begin to flip the entire equation around to moving into the higher purpose of relationship, which is, I would say, partnership, harmony, fulfillment, being able to support each, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, being able to support each person in their own self-actualization, in their own destiny. How may I serve you? How can I be a servant to you to help you to grow into your fullest yet to be? You can't just leap there if you're in anger, resentment, fear, worry, anxiety, shame, guilt. Those qualities are lower vibrational. All of us have to deal with those qualities at some point in our life. And the sooner we deal with them and the more deeply we deal with them, the better. So to sum up this video, I just want to say to you that you are not being punished. Even if you have a chronic series of really challenging, difficult relationships, this is not because you've done anything wrong. This is simply the voice of your own higher consciousness saying it is time for you to evolve and to grow. It can be very, very sobering for us to realize that we are the only ones who can do this work. It cannot be done, it's not going to be done by chance, it's not going to be done by, Match.com just happening to find the right person someday for you, because you're only going to ever be able to attract what your subconscious and what you're vibrating to at a subconscious level, and what has been resolved or what hasn't been resolved in your being. So we can use past and present relationships. Now, I often ask my clients to do this. I say, go back, look at relationships you haven't had for 10 years or 20 years, and see, do you feel nothing but blessing for that person? Or do you still feel a sense of, I kind of wish that, they'd trip and fall somewhere, or I kind of wish them some sort of ill would happen to them. If we feel anything other than complete blessing, complete open-heartedness, complete wishing them well, even people who have severely hurt us in the past, it means we have more work to do in that relationship. We have more forgiveness, more letting go, more releasing. I know this is not easy work. This is not easy work for any of us. But we can start to see our life a little more symbolically, take a step back and say, wait a minute, this person in my life represents something that my soul is working on. There's a higher intelligence at work here. There's something really good trying to emerge here, but I can't just jump to that. I have to get the lesson that I'm here to get. Now, there's a couple ways for us to do that. One is the conscious way, and that can be through therapy, that can be through forgiveness practice, that can be through all of the spiritual development practices like meditation, like prayer, like spiritual reading, like spiritual service, opening your heart, working with all the different modalities that you may already be familiar with, to help your own development, to help your own growth. There's something to be said in there for conscious choice as well. It's very important that this work be done consciously. At the same time, there's also a large amount of the subconscious from this and from other lifetimes that is running the ship of your consciousness that is causing these patterns to exist. And as a teacher of mindset, as we work with our higher intelligence to clear our subconscious, to resolve the Akashic records, to resolve the karmic database, these are all equivalent terms, as we do in my group clearings and my individual work, we're able to accelerate faster. We're able to clear at a subconscious level so that we can do more and faster resolution work, and we can move faster on our progress. And then our conscious work of forgiveness and of acceptance and of opening our mind to our possibility and developing our own self-esteem and all of those beautiful qualities can happen more easily. So just to sum up once again, I want to say that all relationships are soulmate relationships. It doesn't really matter if we even go deeper than that, because everyone that you are encountering in life, even people you don't know consciously, even people that you hear about on the news, for instance, they are still soulmates of yours, because your perception of them, your attitude towards them is giving you a chance to check in with your own sense of self-mastery. Can I love them in spite of themselves and in spite of whatever they're saying or doing? Or am I having a strong judgment? Or am I feeling victimized even by them? So all of our relationships are soulmate relationships. If our primary emphasis in relationship is on trying to come out of pain, we have to accept that. That's just where we are at this moment. Most of the planet is at that point at this moment. Most of the planet is being pushed by pain, not being pulled by a vision yet. And yet still, there's still a small amount, there's that voice of our own higher intelligence that's trying to get us to move forward. But we have to continue to work with every technique we can to help us to clear and to resolve the pain in our past, the pain in our subconscious, so that we can get on with prosperity and love and joy and feeling our oneness with spirit and with each other, feeling our fulfillment, fulfilling our divine destiny. This is what is encoded within you. This is what you can do. Absolutely, no matter where you've come from, no matter where you're at now, you can do this in this lifetime. And I encourage you, it's going to take a commitment. It's going to take work. I'm not trying to make light of that. But use every technique at your disposal to be able to continue to move forward, looking at your life symbolically, releasing the pain, forgiving, opening up, making the difficult choices. Sometimes we have to leave a relationship. Will not be able to actualize simply by not standing up within the relationship. We have to get out. And that's a difficult decision sometimes to make, but sometimes that's the best decision. We have to listen to our guidance. So whatever the decision is, we have to listen to our guidance, and that guidance comes through in our moments of stillness, in our moments of prayer, meditation, contemplation, therapy and counseling, clearing work. All these techniques are available to you. So friends, thank you for watching this video. If you have questions, comments, feedback, please post below, or the link to my website, clearandconnect.com, is below this link. You can be in touch with me there if you like. Thanks for watching this video, friends. Until next time, peace and blessings to you. Bye-bye.